Deuteronomy chapters 10 through 12 encapsulate a significant transition in Israel's journey, emphasizing obedience and devotion to God. These chapters recount Moses receiving the second set of tablets and reminding Israel to fear God, follow His statutes, and love Him wholeheartedly. It's a blend of historical recounting and profound spiritual instruction, focusing on the importance of obedience as a form of worship and the following blessings. Despite their shortcomings, God's love and mercy towards Israel are vividly portrayed, encouraging a life of commitment and gratitude towards Him. Before we begin, I hope you will pause for a moment and reflect on these chapters as you consider your own journey. Are you walking in obedience and wholehearted devotion to God? What areas of your life need realignment to His will and ways? Meditate on embodying the lessons of love and obedience in your daily walk. Pray with me. Lord, guide me to follow your paths with faith and devotion. Help me to love you more deeply and obey your commandments. Now glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and will be forever. Amen. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10. At that time, the Lord said to me, "Cut 2 stone tablets like the first, and come up to me on the mountain, and make an ark of wood. I will write on the tablets the words that were on the first tablets which you broke, and you shall put them in the ark." So I made an ark of acacia wood, and cut 2 stone tablets like the first, and went up into the mountain, having the 2 tablets in my hand. He wrote on the tablets, according to the first writing, the 10 commandments, which the Lord spoke to you on the mountain out of the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly, and the Lord gave them to me. I turned and came down from the mountain, and put the tablets in the ark which I had made, and there they are, as the Lord commanded me. The children of Israel traveled from Beeroth Beni Jaakan to Mosera. There Aaron died, and there he was buried, and Eleazar his son ministered in the priest's office in his stead. From there they traveled to Gudgoda, and from Gudgoda to Jotbath, a land of brooks of water. At that time the Lord set apart the tribe of Levi to bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord, to stand before the Lord to minister to Him and to bless in His name, to this day. Therefore Levi has no portion nor inheritance with his brothers. The Lord is his inheritance, according as the Lord your God spoke to him. I stayed on the mountain, as at the first time, 40 days and 40 nights, and the Lord listened to me that time also. The Lord would not destroy you. The Lord said to me, "Arise, go on your journey before the people, that they may go in and possess the land which I swore to their fathers to give to them." Now, Israel, what does the Lord your God require of you? But to fear the Lord your God, to walk in all His ways, and to love Him, and to serve the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul, to keep the commandments of the Lord and His statutes, which I command you this day for your good. Behold, to the Lord your God belongs heaven and the heaven of heavens, the earth, with all that is therein. Only the Lord had a delight in your fathers to love them, and He chose their offspring after them, even you above all peoples, as it is this day. Circumcise therefore the foreskin of your heart, and be no more stiff-necked. For the Lord your God, He is God of gods, and Lord of lords, the great God, the mighty and the awesome, who doesn't respect persons, nor takes reward. He does execute justice for the fatherless and widow, and loves the foreigner, in giving him food and clothing. Love therefore the foreigner, For you were foreigners in the land of Egypt. You shall fear the Lord your God. Him shall you serve, and to him shall you cleave, and by his name shall you swear. He is your praise, and he is your God, who has done for you these great and awesome things, which your eyes have seen. Your fathers went down into Egypt with 70 persons, and now the Lord your God has made you as the stars of the sky for multitude. Numbers chapter 11. Therefore you shall love Yahweh your God, and keep his instructions, his statutes, his ordinances, and his commandments, always. Know this day, for I don't speak with your children who have not known, and who have not seen the chastisement of Yahweh your God, his greatness, his mighty hand, his outstretched arm, his signs, and his works, which he did in the middle of Egypt to Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, and to all his land, and what he did to the army of Egypt, to their horses and to their chariots, how he made the water of the Red Sea to overflow them as they pursued you, and how Yahweh has destroyed them to this day, and what he did to you in the wilderness until you came to this place, and what he did to Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, the son of Reuben, how the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them up, with their households, their tents, and every living thing that followed them, in the middle of all Israel. But your eyes have seen all of Yahweh's great work which he did. Therefore you shall keep the entire commandment which I command you today, that you may be strong, and go in and possess the land that you go over to possess, and that you may prolong your days in the land which Yahweh swore to your fathers to give to them and to their offspring, a land flowing with milk and honey. For the land where you go in to possess isn't like the land of Egypt that you came out of, where you sowed your seed and watered it with your foot, as a garden of herbs. But the land that you go over to possess is a land of hills and valleys, which drinks water from the rain of the sky, a land which Yahweh your God cares for. Yahweh your God's eyes are always on it, from the beginning of the year even to the end of the year. It shall happen, if you shall listen diligently to my commandments which I command you today, to love Yahweh your God, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul, that I will give the rain for your land in its season, the early rain and the latter rain, that you may gather in your grain, your new wine, and your oil. I will give grass in your fields for your livestock, and you shall eat and be full. Be careful, lest your heart be deceived, and you turn away to serve other gods and worship them, and Yahweh's anger be kindled against you, and he shut up the sky so that there is no rain, and the land doesn't yield its fruit, and you perish quickly from off the good land which Yahweh gives you. Therefore you shall lay up these words of mine in your heart and in your soul. You shall bind them for a sign on your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes. You shall teach them to your children, talking of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates, that your days and your children's days may be multiplied in the land which Yahweh swore to your fathers to give them, as the days of the heavens above the earth. For if you shall diligently keep all these commandments which I command you, to do them, to love Yahweh your God, to walk in all his ways, and to cling to him, then Yahweh will drive out all these nations from before you, and you shall dispossess nations greater and mightier than yourselves. Every place on which the sole of your foot treads shall be yours, from the wilderness and Lebanon, from the river Euphrates, even to the western sea shall be your border. No man will be able to stand before you. Yahweh your God will lay the fear of you and the dread of you on all the land that you tread on, as he has spoken to you. Behold, I set before you today a blessing and a curse. The blessing, if you listen to the commandments of Yahweh your God, which I command you today. And the curse, if you do not listen to the commandments of Yahweh your God, but turn away out of the way which I command you today, to go after other gods which you have not known. It shall happen, when Yahweh your God brings you into the land that you go to possess, that you shall set the blessing on Mount Gerizim and the curse on Mount Ebal. Aren't they beyond the Jordan, behind the way of the going down of the sun, in the land of the Canaanites, who dwell in the Arabah near Gilgal, beside the oaks of Moreh? For you are to pass over the Jordan to go in to possess the land which Yahweh your God gives you, and you shall possess it and dwell in it. You shall observe to do all the statutes and the ordinances which I set before you today. Deuteronomy chapter 12. These are the statutes and the ordinances which you shall observe to do in the land which Yahweh, the God of your fathers, has given you to possess all the days that you live on the earth. You shall surely destroy all the places in which the nations that you shall dispossess serve their gods, on the high mountains and on the hills, and under every green tree. You shall break down their altars, dash in pieces their pillars, burn their Asherah poles with fire, and you shall cut down the engraved images of their gods. You shall destroy their name out of that place. You shall not do so to Yahweh your God, but to the place which Yahweh your God shall choose out of all your tribes, to put his name there, even to his habitation you shall seek, and there you shall come. There you shall bring your burnt offerings, your sacrifices, your tithes, the wave offering of your hand, your vows, your freewill offerings, and the firstborn of your herd and of your flock. There you shall eat before Yahweh your God, and you shall rejoice in all that you put your hand to, you and your households, in which Yahweh your God has blessed you. You shall not do after all the things that we do here today, every man whatever is right in his own eyes, for you haven't yet come to the rest, and to the inheritance which Yahweh your God gives you. But when you go over the Jordan, and dwell in the land which Yahweh your God causes you to inherit, and he gives you rest from all your enemies around you, so that you dwell in safety, then it shall happen that to the place which Yahweh your God shall choose to cause his name to dwell there, there you shall bring all that I command you, your burnt offerings, your sacrifices, your tithes, the wave offering of your hand, and all your choice vows which you vow to Yahweh. You shall rejoice before Yahweh your God, you, your sons, your daughters, your male servants, your female servants, and the Levite who is within your gates, because he has no portion nor inheritance with you. Take heed to yourself that you don't offer your burnt offerings in every place that you see, but in the place which Yahweh shall choose in one of your tribes. There you shall offer your burnt offerings, and there you shall do all that I command you. Notwithstanding, you may kill and eat flesh within all your gates, after all the desire of your soul, according to the blessing of Yahweh your God, which he has given you. The unclean and the clean may eat of it, as of the gazelle and as of the deer. Only you shall not eat the blood. You shall pour it out on the earth like water. You may not eat within your gates the tithe of your grain, or of your new wine, or of your oil, or the firstborn of your herd, or of your flock, nor any of your vows which you vow, nor your freewill offerings, nor the wave offering of your hand. But you shall eat them before Yahweh your God, in the place which Yahweh your God shall choose, you and your son and your daughter, and your male servant, and your female servant, and the Levite who is within your gates. You shall rejoice before Yahweh your God in all that you put your hand to. Take heed to yourself that you don't forsake the Levite as long as you live in your land. When Yahweh your God enlarges your border as he has promised you, and you say, I want to eat meat, because your soul desires to eat meat, you may eat meat, after all the desire of your soul. If the place which Yahweh your God shall choose to put his name there is too far from you, then you shall kill of your herd and of your flock, which Yahweh has given you, as I have commanded you, and you may eat within your gates, after all the desire of your soul. Even as the gazelle and as the deer is eaten, so you shall eat of it. The unclean and the clean may eat of it alike. Only be sure that you don't eat the blood, for the blood is the life, and you shall not eat the life with the flesh. You shall not eat it. You shall pour it out on the earth like water. You shall not eat it, that it may go well with you and with your children after you, when you do that which is right in the eyes of Yahweh. Only your holy things which you have, and your vows, you shall take, and go to the place which Yahweh shall choose. You shall offer your burnt offerings, the flesh, and the blood on the altar of Yahweh your God. The blood of your sacrifices shall be poured out on the altar of Yahweh your God, and you shall eat the flesh. Observe and hear all these words which I command you, that it may go well with you and with your children after you forever, when you do that which is good and right in the eyes of Yahweh your God. When Yahweh your God shall cut off the nations from before you, where you go in to dispossess them, and you dispossess them, and dwell in their land, take heed to yourself that you are not ensnared to follow them. After that they are destroyed from before you, and that you not inquire after their gods, saying, How do these nations serve their gods? I will do likewise. You shall not do so to Yahweh your God, for every abomination to Yahweh, which he hates, they have done to their gods, for even their sons and their daughters they have burnt in the fire to their gods. Whatever thing I command you, that shall you observe to do. You shall not add to it, nor take away from it.